Hello, I have two announcements. Today, the House of Representatives will take up an emergency supplemental bill to fund the global war on terror, including the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Once again, the Democratic leadership is starting this debate with a flawed strategy, including a withdrawal date for Iraq.
The legislation that I gather is going to pass this afternoon does not have a binding deadline in it. It's a goal. It sets a goal. The president has said he would like to bring U.S. troops home.
And actually, the troops are starting to come home.
And that was the other part of it. So why would you veto something that's basically what it's already doing?
As I understand it, the way we read it, there is an arbitrary date for withdrawal. Once again, they plan to send the president a bill that they know he will veto. This is for political posturing and to appease radical groups.
And by appeasing radical groups, are you talking about the MoveOn.org, et cetera, or are you talking about the large numbers of Americans who tell interviewers and pollsters that they would like troops home as soon as possible?
I'm talking about MoveOn.org and Code Pink in particular. We are urging Congress not to play political games. And in case they have missed it, our troops are fulfilling their mission in spectacular fashion. Pulling the rug out from under our troops now is the height of irresponsibility. If the president is presented with this version of the bill, he will veto it.
President Musharraf said in an interview today that emergency rule would likely continue through the January elections. Would the White House consider elections there to be free and fair if they're held under emergency rule?
What we have said is that we want there to be free and fair elections. We want the president to take off his uniform, which again he announced today that he would do that by the end of November. We don't see how it is possible to have free and fair elections under emergency rule.
Does the United States support the opposition parties coalescing against Musharraf, Bhutto, and Sharif, and
we are supportive of people being allowed to peacefully protest, to assemble, and to express their views.
But are you telling them that you would support them if they were able to, somehow support them against, I guess, the government of Musharraf?
I'm not aware that there are those conversations. What we are talking to all of the parties about, including the government as well as the opposition parties, is to work with them to try to find common ground so that they can work together.
Has the White House talked about the fact that Bhutto should be allowed to move freely in her country?
We do think that the emergency order should be lifted, that the Constitution should be restored, and that people should be able to have freedom of movement, that there should be freedom of press, freedom of expression, and freedom of assembly. Obviously, the situation is evolving, and we continue to be in close contact with his government.
With his government and with Bhutto specifically?
And other opposition party leaders.
Dana, does this administration believe that democracy or free and fair elections are necessary at all costs, even if they lead to extremist takeovers in Pakistan, Palestinian states, Saudi Arabia, or other areas?
Let's think about this for a second, Connie. 800 people in Pakistan, over 800 people have been targeted by radicals and extremists and killed just since the month of July. If that happened in this country, can you imagine how we would be feeling? We united after 9/11, after 3,000 of our citizens were killed, and I believe the people of Pakistan want to work together to fight extremism. Now, there is an element there of extremists, especially in the northwestern territories, that tries to infiltrate these areas where they have been filled with despair. It's part of the support that we give to Pakistan is to help lift these people up out of poverty so that they can reject extremism and terrorism.
Musharraf is saying it's the country is more important than democracy. I mean, are you willing to accept an election which might not be one that the Bush administration?
We believe the best way for Pakistan to have a stable and prosperous future is to fully establish democracy.
Are you seeing any signs that the administration's strategy towards dealing with this crisis is working?
I think there have been some positive signs. For example, the president said that there would be elections. He did say he would take off the uniform. He did say the emergency order would be lifted. He just has not said when. And we continue to work with Pakistan. We want to have a long-term relationship with this country. We need to get back into the business of making sure that we don't just walk away from a country because they made a mistake.
There's a report of the New York Times today that indicates investigators are finding 14 of the 17 people killed in the September 16th shootings involving Blackwater were killed in violation of procedures for private security firms. Is the president troubled by this, and has he instructed Attorney General Casey to quickly get to the bottom of this?
Given that this investigation is still underway, even though there was a report in a newspaper, I am not able to comment on it.